But trust and believe, you all, what you see today, she doesn't look like what she's been through. I can tell you that right now. So
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
turn it over to you. Let them know who you are, and then we'll take a trip down memory lane.
Thank you, sis. Thank you. So, yes, so my name is Claudina. I was born in DC, moved to PG County for high school, and I went to Morgan State for nursing, started there. Then I went to the University of Maryland and graduated from University of Maryland. Went back for my master's in nursing administration, and I'm currently working as a nurse at GW and also at Howard University as a nursing administrator.
I love
And
it.
Hey. So yes, I am a nurse. I am an entrepreneur, and I am the founder of the Cynthia Mesa Foundation, where my trauma led me to establishing
That
that foundation.
foundation. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Well, Claudina, you are doing some amazing things. Shout out to all the nurses. Like your jobs, listen, I kudos to you for everything that you do, for everyone that you have helped. And I'm sure you have participated in saving someone's life at some point or
Girl,
another. So,
that's a whole nother trauma
right,
topic during
right, right.
COVID, but yes.
Thank you so much. If you never
Thank
hear
you.
you so much for everything that you do.
Thank you, sis.
So Claudina, talk about when trauma enters your life. We talk about this foundation, but what led up to you opening or starting this foundation?
Okay, so it started in 2018. It was January. Um, I have a little sister. We're also Dominican and Salvadorian, so proud Hispanic family over here. My little sister, my mother and father, it's just her and I. It started January 2018. I talked to her every day. Talked to her every day, and that day I didn't talk to her. I talked to her in the morning. And I asked her for some reason, Cynthia, what you got on today? Because it was the coldest day of January. And I said, what you got on today? She had a routine on Fridays. She would get her nails done. She would go get her hair done. And she told me she had on a black sweatsuit and a mink coat. I'm like, girl, where you going? She was like, I don't get to wear it much. It's cold outside, so I'm going to wear it today. I was like, okay. So as the day went on, I didn't talk to her. And I knew immediately something was wrong. Something
I
was wrong. Um,
felt something.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know that sister connection. You know that sister
I,
connection. Yes. So, I kept calling her phone. She wouldn't, there was no answering. I immediately called her boyfriend at the time and I said, hey, something's going on. You need to kind of get here. I don't know where you are, but you need to get here because something's happening with Cynthia. I drove home. I don't know where I was. In Laurel. I was living in Laurel. I drove home, checked with my parents. Hey, has my sister come by here? And they said no. So that really got me into a frenzy. Um, so to narrow the story down, which I can go deeper if you want me to, it's not a problem.
whatever you're comfortable with.
Um, we couldn't find her. We couldn't find her. I called the police immediately, but because she was of age, they didn't take. They was like, she'll be okay. Not that she'll be okay. I'm sorry. We can't put
Missing
a
persons.
missing person in yet because she's of age. Maybe she's out and about. Maybe you just don't know where she is. We need to wait for some time.
Mm,
But as the sister, knowing my sister, I'm doing my due diligence. I'm driving to Baltimore because that's where her hair salon was. That was where her nail shop was. I'm driving to Baltimore. I'm driving around I'm trying to break into her phone, and I did. I broke into her phone. There wasn't anything there. There was no messages that led me to anything suspicious. But I stayed in Baltimore for that night, hoping that, tomorrow morning something would come up, something important that'll lead me to her.
did she have like a car?
Yes, she had a car. She had a Solera.
Hmm.
Um, I knew the tag numbers. That morning, I drove to T-Mobile. I pleaded with them. My sister's missing. Can you please give me her phone records? They complied. They were actually able to give it to me. Um, Still nothing. Still nothing. I'm calling all my sorority sisters. We were both AKAs. So I'm calling my line sisters. I'm calling her line sisters. Like, hey, this is happening. It's already been a full day. I don't know where Cynthia is. Um, Call the police again. Still same story. We can't do anything at this moment, Miss Mesa, because she's of age. Okay.
Mm,
So that was Friday night. This is all of Saturday, still diligently working, trying to find out. A girlfriend of mine was like, you probably need to talk to the news. I'm like, oh my God, the news. I don't want to show my face on the news. I didn't want that much exposure. I didn't think it was that big. I didn't. So
what were you thinking up to this point, Claudina? Like, share with us, like, what were you thinking?
I didn't know. I thought she might have lost her phone.
Mhm.
Girl, I don't know where my thoughts were going. Um, she might have lost her phone. She was out somewhere, but for her not to call
You
anyone,
did.
it really just was like, and I will say, crazy things that crossed my mind. Um, I know the biggest thing that I pleaded for was just to find my sister, just to find
Just
her.
to find her. Right.
So,
Hmm.
so that's Saturday. So here we go into Sunday. This is still calling her phone. Terry still calling her phone. I'm calling her phone. Line sisters are calling her phone. It's still going to voicemail. Um, Sunday morning, someone answers her phone, Terry. Someone answers her phone. They found it. It was inside of a dumpster, along with an overnight bag that she had. A dumpster digger found it. So I pleaded with him. I was like, please, you haven't done anything wrong. Just stay, can you just please stay where you are? I asked him, where are you? He was like, I'm in White Marsh. I was like, just please stay where you are. So I finally called the police. They believed me finally, and they headed out there and they got the bag. Now it was finally a case. My sister was missing.
Girl.
Terry, to have it was so heavy on me to have to come back home and tell my
Karen,
parents,
next question.
to tell them, and I mean, we still kept on a manhunt. Like I'm telling you, Terry, at that moment, my biggest fear was not to find my sister, not to have a place where if she is gone, not to have a place to see her and to lay her to rest. So it kept it just it started to unfold. It started to unfold. Um, she was kidnapped by the friends of her boyfriend, and she was sexually assaulted and murdered. Her car was found on Monday morning, um, because the description of the car was everywhere, along with her license plates, everything. The description of her car was seen on the parking lot of one of the complexes close to the White Marsh area. So it was just, I just couldn't believe that I was going through that and having to come and tell my parents that my little sister was murdered. My mother had so many questions, and we tried to hold back so many things from her so that, just not to make it worse. So, so from there, um, we received the news continued to run the story, and it was just so amazing in the end how many lives that story touched. So many lives that story touched. Like even now. when I do host my brunches for the foundation, I knew your sister. I knew your sister. It's so warm to know that a lot of people knew my sister, and knew truly who she was. So, so
I'm having
yeah, very.
a tough time processing this all over again. You know what I mean? Like I remember when it happened, Claudina, but I've never gone through the details like this either in the news or with Keisha or my sister. And so because of how close I am with my sister, I just can't.
I know, I know, sis. I'm supposed to be the big sister. I'm supposed to be the one that had protected her. Like her nickname was Mini Me. For her AKA name was Mini Me because she was a mini me. So it was tough. It was so tough, Terry. So, um,
So her
but we-
friends,
yeah, yeah, Terry. I mean, as transparent as your show is, um, sometimes we don't make the right choices in men. So, I blame myself for a long, long time that, my example of who I dated at that time when I got to Baltimore was probably why she dated who she dated, but I can't I can't blame it on that. I can't blame it on that. So, but I will tell you, it was a heavy that I carried for a really, really long time. Um, but we were so blessed that after, when everything happened, we received so many donations, so many cards, Terry, so many gifts of, condolences that, um, we had a surplus. We had a surplus, and my sorority sister was like, Claudina, let's start a foundation. Let's start a scholarship for Morgan students. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. That same year, 2008, we started the Cynthia Mesa Foundation with all of the funds that we had extra. Girl, it's so many little funny stories along the way. Um, so my sister, um, during that time, trying to gather all the paperwork and gather all the stuff and paying this and paying that, the um our insurance company called me and said, hey Claudina, I'm closing everything out in your sister's name, but your sister had life insurance. I said, life insurance. But it came with a bundle. It came with the bundle, girl, because she wanted to save on her car and on her house. So the representative, just like any rep, tried to offer her a bundle deal. So she had money. It wasn't a lot. It was enough to take care of all of her burial services. All of it.
awesome.
So all of the money that we received from the condolences and the cards, we started the foundation.
Wow.
And the foundation has been in existence for 17 years.
Wow.
17 years, yes.
Gosh, my heart is so full right now. Oh my, something tragic turned into something that is helping so many people for 17 years.
17 years. And of those 17 years, we've been able to give out $21,000 scholarships. Yes, to Morgan students. It's such a blessing, Terry. Oh my God. I know there's so much more that I have to do with the foundation, but to be able to stand here today and relive my sister's name every year doing homecoming and such a joyous time for all of our Morgan students and Morgan alumni and be able to just um, party in her
Yes,
name or just give back in her name is
yes,
such a beautiful,
yes,
beautiful thing.
yes, 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 yes. Oh,
So
I would love to, we have not been in touch in so many years, but I would love to offer to you my Trauma to Triumph platform. It is a nonprofit. if anything that you can think of going forward in your life, Claudina, where you're like, you know what,
Oh,
if Spotlight over the City or Trauma to Triumph, or if Terry wants to do whatever it is that comes to your mind or your heart, just
thank you, Terry.
is already yes.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Terry. Thank you.
Anything, like, now that I'm thinking about it, like, you have a foundation and I have this Trauma to Triumph, nonprofit organization. I don't know, whatever God places in our hearts from this point going forward, I just want you to know I'm open to it.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So, I know we've known of each other for all of these years through a mutual friend, but again, to me, timing is everything. And, maybe this next season of life, we can do something together that's impactful, to, I don't know, to honor her
Yeah.
in whatever kind of way. I just want you to know my heart says yes.
Oh, thank you, Terry. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I really do.
Help with the foundation. How do they do that, Claudina?
Say it again.
If there's anyone out there who may say to me, or to this episode, how can I help with the foundation? What would
Oh, well, we have the money receiving platforms, which is Cash App and PayPal. We have that. Um, like I said, there is still a lot of work that I need to do.
what I will say then is, you all please follow this young lady, and then if you need, if your heart so instructs
Mhm.
you to help, she'll tell you how to help. How about that?
Yes, thank you, Terry. Thank you so much. And another thing I want to share, because I didn't do my triumph alone, because God was definitely by my side. Definitely by my side. Butterflies was always something that my line sisters and her line sisters always have as a symbol of, rebirth, that it's Cynthia.
Yeah.
So there's always a special moment. We'll be gathered together. There's always a monarch butterfly that flies around. It was like, there's Sin.
There's
And it can be so small, but it just truly brings that comfort to know that, she's still with us.
Claudina, did anything happen with the people who did this to her?
Yes, Terry. So that was another part of the trauma. Um, Part of that story. So there were two gentlemen that actually kidnapped her and did what they did to her. But within that ring of individuals, there was always one person that kind of walked the straighter path of all of them.
Mhm.
That gentleman had actually walked into the house, saw Cynthia's car in the parking lot, in the driveway, questioned the gentleman, "What's her car doing here?" Nah, mind your business, get about, you gotta leave, gotta leave. But he took mental note that, this is not right, something's going on.
Mm.
So I guess as he saw the story develop, he realized what happened. But he told himself, I'm going to let someone know what I know, that if I ever have to go down with these gentlemen, I'm going to pull on that card that I have. And that's what happened. Um,
Uh,
the police were kind of hot on their trail, locked them all up. That gentleman that walked that straight path decided to call his mom. Hey, mom, there's something at the bottom of my nightstand. Can you go turn that in? Terry. It told everything of what he knew in that letter. So that's how they were able to really gather everything up and have all the evidence they needed to be able to take these two gentlemen to court. So for a week long, I sat in the Baltimore courts, the downtown court, waiting for my moment to testify. Um, and yes, one of them got 32 years, and the other one got life. Hmm. Yeah.
you, God, did you have to see them?
Did I have
Did,
to?
did you see them in court? Like, did you have to face them?
Yeah. Terry, it was one of the hardest things I had to do. Oh my goodness. But to know that I knew them before. We have been out for crabs. I knew the gentlemen. I knew them. We knew them. We knew them.
Was there something in you ever, Claudina, that said to yourself, I want to ask them some stuff? Like, did you ever have this desire, like, I need to talk to them? I need to ask them something.
Absolutely. Why? Why? Why her? Why? Why couldn't you just let her
Did you ask,
go?
did you ask them?
No, I never got a chance to. I mean, I said something in the end in the court, but they couldn't respond back.
Right.
The judge allowed me a moment to kind of, speak to the court, speak to them, but there wasn't a chance for them to respond back. I mean, till the end, the main person denied it all the way through. Denied it all the way through.
To me, you know what? That's even more just disrespectful to me. Um, the boyfriend, what's his fate? I mean, he wasn't
No,
involved, I'm assuming,
no, he wasn't involved. I mean, he was just a person that was the middle connector. Yeah.
or he was probably just as
Oh,
devastated. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I
So,
know, Terry.
oh my gosh, Claudina, I'm just so proud of you, girl, though. You.
Thank you.
Look at your resilience. Look at look at how God can take a trauma incident and still use it for his glory.
Girl. Girl.
Do you see that
Yeah.
though? He didn't
Yes. Yes.
to not have her life, but what I do know is by looking at you and hearing all of the things that happened along the way, even the guy who had a letter in the bottom of his drawer, all of that is to me God orchestrating things so that even though you went through something tragic, you and your parents, God made certain things happen, made certain people do things so that it can lessen the blow that you all had to take as a family. And
Yes.
that is his grace and his mercy.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Terry. I've always I've always had the question, like, is Cynthia okay? What was she thinking in those last moments? Because I know that, she had moments where she was fearful, she was scared, she didn't know what was going on. I always wanted to speak to a medium. This is another little story. I've always wanted to speak to a medium with the question of, can you connect me with my sister? But because of the love and the trust that I have in God, I never did.
Never did.
So there was a medium that I followed on the internet. Just her blog, just reading what she had to say. There was an amazing article that she wrote. She was like, your loved ones are never too far away from you. Never. So you just have to call on them and they will connect themselves with you to let you know that they're okay. So when we met, I was part owner of a salon.
That's right.
Um, and while working in the salon, this was prior to reading this article. While working in the salon, and at the salon, the salon was named after my sister, Cynthia. I would work the salon, and randomly, I would find 5 cents. I would find 5 cents in random places. I mean, the laundry room, Terry. The I mean, why would money just be left randomly? So never thought about it, but 5 cents was always something that I always ran into. So later on in life, I was in a really not dark moment, but just a really confusing moment that I questioned, God, do you really listen to us? Do you really hear our prayers? Do you hear our hearts? And that's when I came across that article. And in the article, the young lady said, just pull on your loved ones, just ask for them to show you that they're okay. She mentioned that 5 cents was a symbol that her father, who had already passed on, he would show to her. She would find 5 cents, and that was a connection, and also license plates. So I guess it's a specific lettering or something that they had a connection with. So I was like, oh my God, is 5 cents my thing for my sister?
For your sister.
So I okay. So that moment I kneeled down, Terry. I said, God, I just want to know if my sister's okay. I know she is because I know she's in your hands. I know that she has made it to heaven. But as a human, I still have that question like, is she okay? And do you hear us? Do you actually hear our prayers? So that was early in the morning. I went about my day. That day, I was helping a friend. He was hosting an event in DC. It was summertime. Um, I'm helping him set up his bar. A car came full of sodas and water, so I'm helping him set up his bar. I'm carrying two hands full of items. I'm walking, Terry. Something tells me to stop. I stop. Guess what I do? Look, I look down.
It was not 5 cents.
It was 5 cents. 5 cents. Girl, I gladly picked it up, but it doesn't stop there, Terry. It doesn't stop there. Wait a minute. I gladly picked it up. I said, "Thank you, God. Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you." So I go about the day. Told you I'm a nurse. I work night shift. This this time I was working at Providence, a hospital that kind of didn't really know me. A lot of the hospitals, Washington Adventist, GW, Georgetown, kind of knew me. They knew my story. They knew what I had went through. Providence was a new hospital I've never worked at before. It was night shift. Midnight, I was admitting a patient, putting him in his room. I was with the nursing assistant. Both of us walked in. Let's use the name Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson, I'm Claudina. I'm going to be your nurse for this evening, and this is Kristen. If you need anything, just let us know. Here's your call light. Call us if you need something. Okay, we walk out the room. She's right behind me. He says, "Thank you, ladies." I think he says something, but I'm already out the room, Terry, so I can't hear. She turns to me and said, "Did he just call you Cynthia?" I said, "What?" I said, "Wait a minute, wait." I said, What'd you say? He just called you Cynthia." I was like, "No, girl, Terry." I run back in the room. I said, "Mr. Johnson, what did you just say?" He was like, "No, no, you're Claude. I called you Claudina, and that's Kristen." Kristen heard Cynthia loud and clear,
I'm
Terry.
so sure of it. I got goosebumps right now.
Terry, when I tell you, I didn't know to cry, to laugh, because just the mercy and the love of God. I know
You
He can show Himself to us.
you said show me, give he works in signs and wonders, right? I've learned this in my older life. I didn't know this kind of stuff when I first met you. But he works in signs and wonders. He sends different things so that you can know that it's him because nothing else makes sense. You know, that's the spirit. And nobody, when you told me, I knew it because I got goosebumps, right? Oh, like I knew it.
Terry, she clearly heard Cynthia.
Yes, yes, yes.
So from that point on, Terry, I don't question. I mean, it's hard to still accept that she's gone, but I don't
But no,
question. I know
you know she's in God's hands
absolutely.
because he has shown you. You asked him, and then he showed you. Not once time, not two times. He continued to reassure you. She's with you. She's with him, and she is good. She probably better than you. No, for real.
Yes,
Um, she,
Terry, Terry, for God to give me to give me that insight to him. It was just amazing.
and he
Just
needed that
amazing.
too, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You needed that.
Yeah. I did. I did, Terry. I did. So, yes.
But oh, nobody can tell me that. I won't even have a conversation with someone who don't believe God is real. Not that I'm not judgy, but we can't really have a conversation. because there's no way you can convince me, talk to me, tell me that the spirit of the Lord is not real.
Girl, girl.
Nothing
Yeah, yeah,
else makes sense. Well, when you just told all of the, like, somebody else on here, y'all super smart. Tell me what else you think it could be. It's like nothing else makes sense.
Terry, nothing else makes sense. Nothing. She clearly heard Cynthia. Of all the names that she could have confused, Claudina doesn't sound like Cynthia. Kristen doesn't sound like Cynthia. For all of, she clearly said to me, did he call you Cynthia?
Yes, and they don't know you there, so you know.
No, no. So yes, girl. So those are my triumphs, girl, out of this trauma. And I see so many of my girlfriends on. Thank you so much for
Oh
tuning
my
in. I didn't
God.
invite everybody because I was so
I,
nervous to
I'm
speak.
like y'all my friends too now, okay? I want y'all to know that, okay?
Yes,
It's
yes,
been so amazing. This has been so just, I don't know, reminding me of God's goodness, you know, reminding me of how He does move, how
yes,
He moves
yes,
and
Terry.
send signs and wonders. Sometimes it's a person, sometimes it's a thing. You just never know. But if you ask Him to show you,
He will show you,
be ready
sis.
for Him to show you and be ready to accept and confirm. God, I know that's you. I
Yep.
know. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. Because he knew I was living in a moment, not of doubt, because I know that God exists. My mother has always instilled that in me, but it was just a moment of just,
You're human.
yeah, absolutely. He was like, look, I'm going to show you twice, twice in the same day, so you know it's me.
Yeah. I'm so proud of you right
Oh,
now.
thank you, Terry. Thank you for giving me this opportunity because I've shared this story in like little tidbits